Hello, everyone. Say hi, Charlie. Hi. Hi. We are talking about the 3 things that you need to take care of. Make sure they're done, make sure they're ready and as best as they can be before you even start your book launch. Okay, so this is Ella from All Writers Welcome and also from Book Launch Like a Boss Facebook group. We call that, to be a little bit shorter and easier, we call that BLAB, Book Launch Like a Boss Boot Camp, aka BLAB. So much faster to say. And I'm going to talk to you today here about those 3 things. 1, 2, 3 things that you need to take care of before you can even start doing any of that fun book launch stuff, like I'm having a launch party. I'm building my launch team. But what are those things that you want to do before you even get to that point to make sure that you are going to have the most successful book launch? And so let's just get right into it. So the first thing, obviously, this is like the biggest duh, and you guys already know it, but I have to say it just in case, is making sure that you really have an excellent story and book. Okay, like it doesn't matter how successful, how much money and time and energy you put into your book launch, if the book itself is not quite ready or it's not quite the best that you could do. And I'm not saying, because I know a lot of people use this to procrastinate, but it could still be a little bit better. And I don't want you to do that. I just want it to be the best it can be in a reasonable time frame. So what are some of the things you can do, even if you've already finished your book, or even if you've done, 1 or 2 revisions and you're like, okay, I'm on the way to being done with my book. What are a couple things that you can make sure to take care of to make sure it's the best and that you have the most successful launch possible? And so the first thing that you can do is make sure that you have a really great start, a lightning start. Okay, like a lightning start, something that hooks people in as soon as they start reading it. And just in case you didn't know, Megan has actually done a training in the Book Launch Like a Boss Bootcamp Facebook group about how to have a really great lightning start. And I just want to talk for a second about why this is so important, because when people are clicking through and they're deciding what they want to spend their time and money on, they're oftentimes going to look at the look inside that Amazon gives you. They give you, like the readers can look and see like the first chapter or whatnot, first section of your book. Well, lots of people, myself included, look at that to see if it's something that we want to continue reading. And so that's why it can be so important to make sure you have a really, really amazing, good hooking people into it start of your book. And Megan actually did a free training on how to make an amazing lightning start in the Book Launch Like a Boss Facebook group. So that's there available. If you check out the pinned post, it has a link to it, so you don't even have to try and search for it. Super duper easy. The next thing you want to do is make sure that you have a really dramatic and tension-filled climax. Good climax is so wonderful. So again, and because that's part of the book, that's the second part where people will start once they have a good lightning start, and second, when they buy it and they have a good book, that's what will keep your word of mouth going, because people are like, you have to read this book, it was so good. So that doesn't have as much to do with a book launch, but it just successful marketing and writing generally. So part of that lightning start training, the first chapter, Like a Boss training, also includes how to do a really, really successful climax, how to make sure. And it doesn't mean rewriting anything. That's the awesome part. It might just be a sentence or 2 that really makes it awesome. Okay, so those are the first things that you need to do, is make sure you have a great first chapter and that you have a really dramatic and tension-filled climax. Ooh. Hi, Carrie. Okay, The second thing that you really need to do before you start your book launch is make sure that you have an amazing book cover, or even just a book cover that sells. Okay, so people don't always think as the book cover as a marketing tool. People, I know a lot of authors think of the book cover as like a visual summary and representation of their story. So they're like, well, there's dragons in the story, and there's a hero and a heroine, sorry. and there's an orc, and there's, they're in the forest most of the time, but sometimes they're in a castle. So I got to put all this on the cover, and you don't have to do that. The book cover is a marketing tool, 100% only a marketing tool. And so you want to make sure that you have a book cover that appeals to your ideal readers. And I've done a lot of videos about book covers. And if you go to our YouTube channel, All Writers Welcome YouTube channel, I actually made a book cover playlist that covers some of the videos. So we go over book covers quite a bit so that you guys can know exactly what to do to have an amazing book cover. But that's really important before you launch, because you don't want to attract, you can have an amazing book cover, but it might not attract and appeal to your ideal readers. So that's the second thing. You want to make sure that you have a book cover that appeals to your ideal readers, the people who want to read your kind of book. So that way, when you're getting in front of them, when you're launching, when you're doing all these things for your book launch, the people who like to read paranormal romance look at your cover and they're like, that's a paranormal romance. I know what that is. I know there's a possibility I'm going to like it. I'm going to click on it right now. Like, that's the reaction you want for whatever your genre is. If you write mystery and somebody's like, that's a mystery, I'm going to click on it. Which takes me into the third thing that you want to make sure that you have done really well before you launch your book. Because once they click on it to find out more, they're going to look at your book description. The third thing that you need to make sure is done really well before you do your book launch is have a really kick-ass book description, okay? Because that's the thing that is going to build the tension. So they're going to click on the cover, and if your book description is lame, they're not going to want to buy your book. They're going to be like, it doesn't really sound that interesting though. Okay, and so you want to have an amazing book description that builds this tension between, so they read the first 3 paragraphs, and at the end of the third one, you hook them in for the first, you hook them in and they're like, ooh, that sounds good. And then by the third paragraph or what have you, the third paragraph, you're like, oh, wait, and then what happens? And you've built this tension between the book description and the story. It's like a rubber band, you're building the tension with your book description. And the only way for them to release that tension is to buy your book and read more. And that's what your book description can do. And the reason I'm talking about it now is I'm super excited because Megan tomorrow is doing a free training on how to write an amazing book description. And a lot of people like book covers think, oh, I have to summarize my whole book into this one description. And it's hard because you're the author and you know the whole story and you know all the nuances and the reasons why. And you're like, how am I gonna put all that into just a couple of paragraphs? And you don't have to. There's actually a formula that you can fill out. You can just follow the formula and make an amazing book description, because the book description is a marketing tool. You're purposefully building that tension between the book description and the story so that the reader is like, oh, so your potential customers are like, I read the book description and I don't know how it's resolved and the tension is killing me. I need to buy the book. That's what you need. And you can, and there's a formula, and Megan's actually doing a training tomorrow. So today is Tuesday. So on Wednesday, you guys, the 27th, Megan is doing a training on how to write an amazing book description. And the replay will be there. So even if you get there a little bit late, it's okay. But the replay will be there for the next week or so. So go ahead and join our Facebook group, Book Launch Like a Boss, to get access to that free training. And she's actually doing a live Q&A afterwards. about book descriptions. So you can ask whatever questions you need, and she will actually respond personally and customize her answers just to your questions so you can get the exact help that you need to make an amazing book description. And so those are the 3 things you need to do before you even think about launching. The first is to write a freaking amazing book, which includes a really great first chapter, because the first chapter is what's in the look inside. That's what people are going to be watching and looking at to see if they want to read the rest of the book. And there's a free training about that in the Book Launch Like a Boss Facebook group. The second thing you want to do is have a really good book cover that appeals to your ideal readers. So you can have a book cover. That's the second thing. I've already gone into it, but I could talk about this a lot. So the second, you want a book cover that appeals to your ideal readers, not just anybody, but the people who like your genre. The third thing you want to do is have a really great book description. The book description that can build the tension between somebody who hasn't read your book and your story. So that way they're like, she left me on a cliffhanger in this book description. I need to finish the book so I know what happens. Let me push that pay button. So those are the 3 things that need to be taken care of before you even start thinking about launching. So, and fortunately, we've got great information on all of those things. Plus, Megan did the free training already, and the replay is available in the Book Launch Like a Boss Facebook group for your lightning start for having an amazing first chapter. That training and replay is available right now. And then tomorrow, if you haven't already joined the group, tomorrow she's doing an amazing training about book descriptions. So you don't want to miss that. Okay, so those are the 3 things to take care of before you do your book launch, because we all think about the marketing stuff and how crazy that stuff is, but actually there's a couple of things that you can take care of ahead of time that will greatly impact your launch. Yay, training tomorrow, April. It's at, yes. There will be reminders, April. I promise you. But yes, 12 Eastern. Megan, can you double check that? Yes, the training's tomorrow. It'll be live. The live Q&A will be in Book Launch Like a Boss. We are collecting questions. Actually, if you have any questions about book descriptions, you can put them right now in the comments, and we will save them and answer them tomorrow live in Book Launch Like a Boss Facebook group. Megan will answer those live for you. Okay? Thank you, guys. I will see you mañana. Hopefully, Book Launch Like a Boss Facebook group. 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. That's what I thought. I thought it might be 11. Yeah. So April, it is at 1 p.m. Eastern. 11 Mountain. That's why I get confused, because I'm in Mountain. Nobody else is in Mountain. Okay, see you guys tomorrow for the Book Launch Like a Boss book description training, and have a wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you. Bye.